All right. So it is Easter Saturday. It's kind of gloomy out. We got to bring some inner sunshine today, people. All right. So find child's pose that feels good for you this morning, right? It may be that your knees are together with a little pressing down to the toes. Maybe your head is even elevated or on a block. If you're not quite ready to get all the way down to the floor, maybe it might feel better with the knees wide, toes together, and just letting the hips begin to open up a little bit. Taking your time, right? We don't just want to like plop into this. And I want you to feel a little bit of activation as you move into your child's pose today. So a little engagement of the belly in and up, pressing the toes down, maybe like just a 10% squeeze of the inner thighs moving towards one another. And the arms can be wherever suits you, out in front, right? Or draped alongside the body. Or again, maybe you're up on your elbows. And just settling in here, right? We all kind of come to the mat with our bags packed, right? Whatever things we're carrying with us. And just see if you can't just let them kind of just move off to the side. Just letting that weight, that burden, that list, that stuff, just kind of melt away. Not forever, right? Just this period of time. And allowing yourself to be present in this moment. Turning our attention inward, settling in the breath. And just noticing here as we're sort of pressing down, right, onto that abdomen, how it's a little bit more challenging to breathe, right? Starting to feel the back body begin to open up, breathing in deep into the lungs, filling up, stretching, exhaling, releasing. So when we start focusing on the breath and we do some pranayama, right, we're actually exercising the lungs. So it's that voluntary and involuntary action, right, that happens with our breathing. We can purposefully make conscious choices, right, or just day to day, minute by minute. We don't think about the breath, but that's what keeps us going, keeps us alive, along with the heart. So settling in here, maybe you want to take some audible exhalations, just releasing anything that, again, is kind of lingering. And it's always nice to just be a little vocal, right? And kind of tuning up the breath with some sound. Let's take an inhale. And then exhale, let it go. And on the next inhale, just a gentle om. So inhale for om. And slowly letting those arms come out in front of you if they weren't already there. On your next inhalation, come up onto those fingertips, right? Little tenting of the hands. Now we're starting to draw those shoulder blades apart. Lift the forehead away from the floor. And maybe just take a turn to the left and to the right with the head. So just a little bit of movement with the neck. And then on the next inhalation, up into a tabletop position. Have those knees right underneath the hips. Again, pressing down into the toes down through the shins. A little bit of that internal squeeze of those thighs in towards one another. Belly is active, right? Let those shoulder blades kind of find that happy medium spot. So we're not quite in our cat tilt or our cow tilt yet. Pressing down into the index finger and thumb. Draw the chin into the chest. And then let's go ahead and draw that belly in and up as we draw the shoulder blades away from one another, coming into that cat tilt, pressing the hips slightly back, right? So letting those hips start to move a little bit towards the heels. We can feel a little bit more of the shoulder blades opening up. And then coming back through center, let's go ahead and draw the shoulder blades down the back, elbow creases roll forward, and our gaze lifts. So when I say our gaze lifts, right, that doesn't mean our chin. It means literally our eyeballs are looking up, right? That's our drishti. So the chin is parallel to the floor, right? And we're letting the ribs move kind of towards the elbows and down. So we really feel that stretch happening. Exhale, draw the chin into the chest, pull the belly in, press those toenails down one last time. Let's go ahead and open up the chest, gaze lifts, good. Coming into that neutral spine now. We're gonna take that right leg and send it back. Just pressing out, a little bit of rocking in the heel, working on that stretching up through the calf, the arch of the foot. Keep the belly lifting here. Press down into the right hand and then let that left arm come by the left ear and then let the right leg raise. So again, we're finding a little bit of a balance challenge here. Press down into the left toes. Press out through that heel. Now, the more we can square off the hips and squeeze those inner thighs together, that's where you're going to feel the core, the belly lifting. Exhale, bring that knee and elbow in underneath the body, hold, find a little rounding of the spine, and then let the arm and the leg come back out. 3, 2 more, just like that. Exhale, pull everything in. Inhale, open up, 1 more. Open up, release the hand, release the knee. Little wagging of the tail. Taking it to the other side, let that left foot come out. Again, really allow that stretch to happen. All 5 toes are tucked underneath. Drop that left hip down. And then pausing here, let that right arm come alongside the head. Reach those fingertips nice and long. Lift that left leg. Hold. So it's that rebounding action, right? We're pressing down, but we also want to feel a lifting up. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, pull everything in, round the back. Inhale, extend, 1 more. Whoop. Reach it out. Right hand comes down. Left knee comes down. Good. So taking it to the side, we're going to find a little easy side angle here. Let that right hand come underneath the right shoulder. Left foot is going to come down to the mat. We're going to try and keep our right knee down. If you need to take that foot out a little bit to the back for a little bit of balance, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, feel free to keep it directly underneath the body. Start with taking your left hand to your sacrum. Notice how your tush is probably sticking out a little bit. Self-adjust here. Press. You really want to work at taking the tailbone right towards the back of the leg. So we're pressing our pelvis forward. Right, so we're trying to make ourselves like in one line, one plane. Hold here. Maybe that left arm can come up. Nice deep breath, chest is open. Maybe that arm can stretch over the ear, palm facing down. Breathing here, feel the stretch through the intercostals. Now, maybe you stay here, maybe that left leg starts to come up off the floor. Again, pressing out through the heel. Try not to drop into that right arm and that right shoulder. Breathe. Good. Release the foot, release the hand, come back through center. Take a round of cat-cow. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So, stepping onto that right foot, coming into that plank position, or not plank, but side angle. I want you to really work at drawing that tailbone underneath, right? It's so easy for us to stick that booty out. Once you feel that, press down into that standing foot, that right foot. Right arm reaches up. And then again, maybe we start by taking the arm up over the head, fingertips facing down, chest nice and forward with the body, right? We don't want that chest pointing towards the floor. Gaze is either up or straight ahead. Find your balance, press down into that left shin, those left toes. Breathe here. Nice full deep breaths in and out. And then exhale, slowly release. Good. Tuck those toes under. Let's make our way into our first downward dog. So lifting up, pedal out the feet. Maybe one knee bending deeply, then the other. I want you to feel that wrapping action of the arms coming down and around, right? So they're moving away from the ears. And then come up high on those tippy toes. Bend deeply into your knees and shift your chest, right, your belly towards your thighs. So that your sitting bones are reaching a little bit higher to the sky. You can stay right here, or you can try to let those heels start to soften towards the earth. And as they do, reach your chest forward. Last breath here in down dog. And then let's look forward, step the right foot between your hands. We're going to come into a lunge here. So a little runner's lunge to start, coming up onto the fingertips. Extend the chest forward, crown of the head reaching forward. Left hand is going to come next to the right foot, and we're going to twist to the right. So that right arm again is going to reach up. And then we're going to bring the right hand back down. From here, we're going to work our way up into a high lunge. So you can walk your hands up the knee, or you can simply just come upright. Make sure that left hip is turning inward, right? So we're squaring off those hips. Arms come up alongside the ears. Tuck that left sitting bone into that left thigh. Breathe. How low can you go comfortably? Trying to always work towards that parallel action of that right leg coming to the floor, or coming to the mat. And then exhale, release the hands. Let's step the right foot back to meet the left in downward dog. Looking forward, step the left foot between your hands. Coming into that nice runner's lunge, big stretch here. Keeping those shoulders back, crown of the head reaching forward. Right hand comes down. We take a twist to the left. Let that left arm reach up. Squeeze those inner thighs together. Left hand comes to the floor. Again, make your way up into that high lunge. It doesn't matter, you can walk right up the leg if that feels better. Bring that left hip back, right hip forward, arms alongside the head. Nice full breaths, feeling that those ribs moving away from the hips. Shoulder blades down the back. Keep those arms nice and straight. So if that means your arms have to be here, that's okay, right? You work within the limits of your body. Last breath, hands come to the floor. Step that left foot back to meet the right. We're in plank, top of a push-up. Let those knees come to the floor. Exhale, pelvis, chest, forehead. Bring the feet together. Hands come just up alongside the ribs. Press those shoulder blades together. Roll those shoulder blades together. So the shoulder blades are moving away from the mat. Lift the kneecaps, but not the toes. Inhale, lift up into that locust. So as we squeeze those elbows towards one another, the chest lifts. Maybe the feet lift. I like to traction my hands backwards, right? So it's like reaching. It actually makes my chest feel like it's moving more forward. And exhale, let that forehead come to the floor. You can press up through table, plank, or anything that makes you feel good. Child's pose, coming back into downward facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths in down dog. Last breath here. Look forward. Make your way to the top of the mat. Coming into a standing forward fold. You can walk, you can jump. First forward fold. Maybe you want to have a little bend in the knees here. Drop that chin in towards the chest. Let that neck just relax. Heavy head. Maybe you take hold of opposite elbows. And if you want to do a little sort of side to side, I kind of like to bend one knee and then the other. As I just kind of shift from side to side. And then slowly coming back to center, you can let those hands release to the floor. And the next inhalation, let's come up into that half forward fold. So our hands are going to come somewhere, the shins, the thighs, maybe the floor, so long as you have a flat back, right? If our back is rounded with the fingers to the floor, then lift up. Again, we're staring at the floor in front of us, crown of the head reaching forward, sits bones stretching back. Draw that belly button in and up. Press your feet away from one another. So really think about those ankles moving away from one another. Ooh. Exhale, forward fold. Bent knees are straight. Inhale, root to rise. Arms come up over the head and exhale. Palms to heart center and alongside the body for Tadasana, mountain pose. Nice full deep breath here in mountain pose. Keeping those ankles pressing out away from each other. Inhale, reach up. Gaze lift. Remember, it's more about the eyes than the chin. Bring those palms together. Press them together. Maybe wrap one thumb on top of the other. Squeeze here, shoulder blades down. Exhale, palms to heart center. Hinge at the head, standing forward fold. Bend the knees. Let's go ahead and step it back to a plank, top of a push-up. Make a nice full deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. All right, so we're going to drop down onto that right knee. And then we're going to come into that modified side plank again. Now, if you want to stay here, you can. If you want to work into a full-on side plank, you're going to just sort of lift that back leg and bring it up. So whether that knee is down or up, it's your call, okay? Find what's best for you. Tuck that tailbone, press that pelvic floor forward, and lift that hand. So here you're still getting that same benefit. Work at pulling up on that right side body. So we're pushing ourselves away from the floor. Nice deep breath, arm comes up over the head. Again, you can stay here, or you can lift that top leg. If you're on both feet, if you're lifted up, and you can find that balance, and you want to try and lift your leg, good, release, come back through center. Let's take a child's pose. Turn your palms up. Make fists. Pump your fingers. Push your fingers together. Stretch them out. Make some circles with the wrists. One direction, then the other. Breathing. All right, coming back up. Do the same thing on the other side. Except we're going to do one more little half sun salutation. Tucking those toes. Lift your hips, downward dog. Look forward, make your way to the top of the mat. You can step, you can jump, you can hop. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Press out through the feet, root your eyes, arms up over the head. Pause here. Exhale, palms to heart center. Hinge at the hips, hands come down. Let's take it back again, plank pose, top of a push-up. We're gonna go to the left this time. So left knee can come to the ground. Let's go ahead and step on that right foot, come into that balanced position, whichever you feel comfortable with. I'm gonna turn to face you. I'm just gonna flip myself around on the mat, right? So in our side plank, you can be here, or you can lift yourself up. Press yourself away from the floor. Right arm reaching up over the head, breathe. Again, maybe you lift that bottom leg or the top leg. That'd be really crazy if the bottom leg. Maybe you lift the top leg and your bottom leg is straight. Nice, slowly release. Come back onto all fours. Again, take one or two breaths in child's pose just to be kind to those wrists and those hands. Inhale, coming back through table. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot stays heavy, right leg reaches up. Let's go ahead and stack the right hip on top of the left. Bend that top knee. Reach the right knee towards the ceiling. Gaze underneath your right arm. Coming back through center, three-legged dog. Step that right foot between your hands. Let's go ahead and turn onto the back foot, coming into warrior two. So making your way up in warrior two, right? Again, always take a minute to self-adjust, guys. It's so important that you don't hurt yourself, right? And since you're not in a room where you have somebody actually looking at your body structure, notice. You want your knee tracking over the pinky-ish side of your foot, yeah? Say hi to Willie. It's not Chewy. We miss Chewy, don't we? Okay, Willie. Okay. I know, but you can't stay here, really, okay? All right, so it's bend. The bend in the knee is as much or as little as you can take. We're working on opening the groins here, so the back heel is pressing away, right? We're really working at the outer edge of the back foot. Tuck your sitting bones under. You want your hips and your ribs and your shoulders to all be in one line. So we're not reaching forward, we're not reaching back. Right, nice straight line. Arms are parallel to the floor. Gaze out over those right fingertips, breathe. So this is effort, guys, this is work. We're stretching our feet out. We're dropping our tailbone long. Our arms are parallel to the floor with those shoulder blades pulling together on our back. Inhale, straighten your right leg. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. One more, inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Left hand is gonna wrap around the body and just relax it somewhere, whether it's just kind of on your back or if you can tuck it all the way around, that's fine too. We're gonna take a reverse warrior here. So letting that right arm reach up, stretching those right intercostals, breathe. And then exhale, coming back. We're gonna straighten that right leg. Keep that left hand wrapped behind the body. Reach your right arm forward. This is a wide triangle, okay? Right arm is gonna reach forward, exhale. Release the right hand down. Now, your right hand could be on a block, if that feels better for you. It could be up on the leg. It could be down. It could be on the floor, right? No matter where it is, the most important thing is what's happening here with this chest. So we're gonna take the left hip, rotate it inward. And we're gonna draw that left shoulder back. That kind of sexy roll that shoulder back so our chest is now facing forward, not looking at the floor, right? Nice deep breaths right here. If you feel like you need a little micro bend in that right knee, because it's so wide, feel free to do that too. So you can stay here, or you can release that left arm now and take it up. Find the breath. Be in the moment. Feel how your body's working. Bend deeply into that right knee. Inhale, take it up, warrior two. One more reverse warrior, just because it feels good. Exhale, take those hands to the floor. Let's go ahead and step it back, find plank, top and push-up. Hold here, belly lifts, right leg up. Release the right foot, left leg up. Release the left foot, knees to the floor, exhale, all the way down. Bring those big toes to touch, lift the kneecaps, right? But not the feet. We're gonna take those hands back a little bit farther. Roll those shoulder blades back. Inhale, lift up. Ooh, maybe those feet come up. Exhale, lower all the way down. We're gonna come into Sphinx for a moment. So making our way up onto forearms. Open your legs wide now. So maybe as wide as the mat. So remember how we were doing the cat-cow? That's what we're gonna look for in our back here. We're actually gonna try and combine both portions of the rounding action of the spine and the pressing forward of the chest all at the same time in our Sphinx pose here. So the first thing we're gonna do is lift our hands, take them out to the side. So the hands are wider than the shoulders, right? I want you to press your pelvis down into the floor and then draw the chin into the chest. Then pull the belly in and up. So now you're moving your belly button away from the floor. Do you feel how your shoulders really rounded here? You're really working on this cat back. Now one more breath here. On your next inhalation, I want you to start to bring your chin parallel to the floor. And as you do, press your chest forward and try to draw your shoulder blades back while you're still pulling your belly button in. So that belly button hasn't released from the floor. This is what's saving your low back, guys, because this is all core. Now your glutes are turned on, right? Your hamstrings are turned on, they have to be. Maybe you stay right here because this is a lot of work. Maybe you can lift, pressing, straightening the elbows. No, that's a big maybe, because this is a pretty big back bend. One last breath here. Exhale, release those elbows. Good. Let's go ahead and just take one hand on top of the other, or one forearm on top of the other, and let the forehead rest just for a breath. And then hands up underneath the shoulders. Tuck those toes under, press up through plank, child's pose or table, and into downward dog. The same thing on the other side. That right foot stays heavy and the left leg is going to come all the way up. Let's stack that left hip on top of the right. Press down into that right heel. Press that left knee up towards the ceiling. And then straighten yourself out. Three-legged dog. Step that left foot between your hands. Right? Let's come down onto that right foot. Working our way up into warrior two on this side. So whether you cartwheel or walk up the leg, it doesn't matter. Take a pause. Right? Feel that base. Feel that foundation. Everything starts with the foundation. So we're pressing those feet away. We're tucking that tailbone under. We're lengthening our low spine, our low back. We're pulling our belly in and up. That's an Uddiyana Bandha, that lifting action. Arms are up. Notice that left knee, right? We want to push it towards the pinky-ish side of that left foot. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, and bend. Take that right arm behind the back. Left arm reaches up in that nice stretch. And inhale back into warrior two, right? We're gonna straighten that front leg. Reach forward with that left hand. And again, as we drop that left arm down, let that right hip turn towards the mat, right? That's gonna take us down to the floor, to the block. Notice that chest. Keeping that arm behind the back, sexy roll that right shoulder open. The minute you do that, guys, it might mean your body pops up a little bit, right? Because our natural tendency is to want to get to the floor. And that's not what we want to do, right? So it's not about looking at the floor. It's not about dropping into the chest. Open up. Nice full deep breaths. Maybe that left arm reaches up. Press out through the legs. Keep stretching through that chest. If you can gaze up at your right hand, right thumb, do that. Otherwise, let that head be straight ahead. Be kind to your neck. Taking one more deep breath here. Bend into that left leg. Inhale, come up, warrior two. Reversing that warrior. And cartwheel down. Left followed by right. Coming into that plank pose again. Lots of plank today. Lots of plank. Lots of side. Hold and breathe. Let's go ahead and pull the right knee in and push up. So we're coming into that like little cheetah here. See if you can to take that leg, that right leg, and cross it off of the mat, outside the mat to the left. Now my booty's still up in the air, right? From here, we're gonna try and slide down. So we're back into our plank-ish position. Squeeze those inner thighs together. Breathe. Lift your hips. Draw that right knee back into the chest. Take it back. Come down onto the knees for a minute. Give those wrists a break. Back up into our plank pose. Draw that left knee into the chest, round. Cross that right knee under and then out to the side. So use the floor, slide down. Pull it back in and plank. Knees to the floor. Exhale all the way down. Melt, 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 melt. Let's bring those hands all the way out. Little teepees. Right? I want you to have those elbows pointing up towards the ceiling. Bring those big toes to touch. Lift the kneecaps, not the toes. Inhale, lift the head and chest. Now lift the feet. Exhale, lower all the way down. We're coming up into another Sphinx. Those hands are coming out. Open those legs wide, guys. Lift the fingers, spread them out and down. Again, draw the chin into the chest. Pull the belly button away and towards the spine. Press your pelvis down, squeeze. You feel a little squeeze happening in the glutes. And then lift your chin, lift your gaze, draw your chest forward. You can stay right here or you can straighten your arms. Saving, preserving that low back. Pull the belly in, guys. Exhale, release all the way down. Take a moment. Good. Bring those hands up underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, and find child's pose. Hips to heels, forehead to the floor. Oh, good job. You know, you don't have to move fast to work hard, right? When you take the pace down, it gives you more time to really think about that muscle recruitment, which is what's going to make sure that we are not hurting ourselves in our yoga practice, right? Because you get a good workout when those muscles are turned on, when you have to hold something, right? You can do a sloppy sun salutation and get nothing out of it except your heart rate goes up, right? Or you can do a slow sun salutation, thinking about all the ways those muscles have to work. And actually gain some strength, flexibility, and information, right? What's happening in my body? Meeting yourself right where you are. Nice. One last breath here in child's pose. Let's come all the way up. Tuck those toes under, lift our seat one last time here. Down dog, look forward and making your way to the top of the mat. Press out through the feet, root to rise, arms come up and over the head, and exhale, mountain pose. So we'll do a little balance challenge here with a tree. And if you would like to take it, if you want to stand on a block to do your tree today, you're welcome to do that. It just adds a little bit more effort, right, to the balance. Otherwise, feet on the floor. I'm going to do it without the block today. Let's go ahead and step on that left foot, bend into the right, turn those right toes out. So automatically we feel, right, that stretching action, the groin's opening up on that right side. You can take the foot, you can actually leave it on the floor, right, and just kind of do the touchdown of the toes. You can bring your foot to the calf, bypass the knee, or all the way up inside that inner right thigh. Right, once we find where we want to be, let's bring those hands to prayer. Push down, lift up. Lift the chest up into those thumbs. Draw the head back in space. Right? From here, maybe those arms come up. Find your drishti, find something to look at that's not moving. Straight ahead. You want to try not to look down, right? We're always thinking, can I meet the world? Straight on, right? We don't cower. Open heart, open mind, open, open, open. Last breath, palms to heart center. Let's bring that right leg forward. Hold here. I know, it's getting challenging, right? Cross. We haven't done any chair poses, so I think it's time. Cross the right ankle over the knee and sit in chair. Again, keep lifting that chest, right? We're not scrunching over in our chair. Woo, our chest is staying lifted. It's hard, I can't look at myself. I gotta look somewhere else. All right. Lift the chest as low as you can go comfortably. And inhale, rise up. Release that left foot. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive over the legs. Standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release, press out through the feet. Rise all the way up. Exhale, take those palms to heart center. Alongside the body to the other side. Come up onto those left toes, turn it out. Find a good position for your leg. Bring those hands to prayer. Pressing down, rooting down. Lifting that chest up. Find your version of tree. And notice, if those arms come up, where are your shoulders? Do they hike up to your ears or can you release them down the back? Bring those palms to heart center. Let that left leg come in and then cross the left ankle over that right knee. Finding your balance here. Exhale, sit in your chair. Inhale, press up. Release that left foot. Yay! Inhale, reach up. Exhale, take it over the legs. Woo, bend the knees. Let's go ahead and step it back. Finding our plank. Knees to the floor. Cross at the ankles and roll over onto your bottom. Bring those legs out in front. So coming into a forward fold, right? Remember in our forward folds, guys, we want to hinge from the hips. It's not rounding into the shoulders. It's that hinging from the hips. So start with your fingertips behind you. And I like to turn them kind of outward, right? So it's like a little, like this, almost like the pinkies are starting to move in closer to me. Shoulder blades down the back. Here's our inhale, exhale, hinge forward. Now maybe you just like having the fingers back here helping you as like a little lever. If you want to explore letting your arms come forward, you can always take them up underneath the calves. If you reach your toes, right, you can take the hands around the feet. Nice full deep breaths. I like to close my eyes in my Paschimottanasana, my forward fold. It's a very internal move, right? We're just sort of drawing our attention inward. And slowly inhale. Let's come all the way up. Oh, good. So making our way down onto our back. If you've got your blocks, let's take them with you. We're going to come into a supported bridge. So coming rolling down. Let's lift up and place those blocks one on top of the other right underneath the sacrum. Now, our goal here isn't to relax on these blocks as good as this feels, right? We want to walk those shoulders up underneath us. Maybe even take your hands onto the outside of your mat. So you're trying to like pull it apart. Remember how we do that with a strap? Use the outside of the mat today. And then bring your feet slightly forward of your knees. I want you to press down and forward with your feet. Pull out with the hands as you squeeze the shoulder blades together. And see if you can't slightly lift your pelvis, tuck your tailbone, and release back down onto the block. So you've actually lengthened through the low back. Make sure your chin isn't pushing into the chest, right? We want the back of our head pressing into the mat, and we're lifting the chest. And we're breathing here. This is a back bend. Or an inversion, I should say, inversion. It's a modified inversion. We can stay right here. If you'd like to lift your feet, right, we could do a Viparita Karani with one block or two. If 2 blocks is too much, you can take one out and you can use one. But let's see if we can't find a few breaths here in Viparita Karani before we move forward. So those of you that want to stay in Viparita Karani, you can do that. If you want to come into shoulder stand, you're going to bend your knees right towards your forehead and then send your legs back behind you. Now, I don't like to have my blocks there, so I'm just going to reach back and take them off to the side. And then I'm going to bring my hands onto my low back. From here, I'm going to lift my legs straight and together up towards the ceiling. And I'm trying to make myself like a pencil, not a banana, right? So shoulders and hips are in one line. Now to come out, you can come back through plow, or you can put your knees bent towards the forehead. Plow, your feet are going to come back over the head. Release your hands. If you're in Viparita Karani, feet are to the floor. You can take the block out from underneath you. So let the spine slowly roll down if you're coming back out through plow pose. And again, we're going to let our legs just float down to the floor. All right, pull the knees into the chest. Do a little rocking action on that low back. And then let's bring those feet to the floor one more time. We're going to let that left leg go long. We're going to pull the right knee into the chest. Maybe you want to straighten that right leg. Just take the hands back behind the knee. You can point and flex the toes. I like doing that because it's an awesome stretch right for the top of the foot and the top of the ankle. And then flex. And maybe a couple of circles, one direction and the other. Rebend that right knee and slowly cross it over the body. Let that right arm go long, gaze over the right shoulder, and press that right knee down into the floor or on the left side. Slowly roll back onto your back. Bring both knees back up into the chest. Maybe pulling the knees apart this time for a happy baby. Right, you can take your hands to the inside or the outside of the feet, or you can just wrap them around the backs of the legs, right? It doesn't matter. Pull those knees back together. Let's go ahead and keep that left knee in and let that right leg go long on the mat. Hold here for a breath and then straighten that left leg. Again, point the foot up. So good. Flex. Do some circles. Squeeze those inner thighs towards one another, even here. Bend that left knee back into the chest and then cross it over the body, bringing that left arm out, shoulder height, gaze over to the left as the knee rolls to the right. Take a few breaths here. Coming back through center, knees pull again into the chest. And then we're going to make any last movements that we'd like before Shavasana. You made it. So setting up for your Shavasana today, maybe you want those blocks up underneath the knees. Maybe You want to put a blanket over you if it's chilly. Or place the blanket behind your shoulder blades to let the chest expand just a little bit. Just take a minute to get the wiggles out. And then slowly settle in to the shape of your Shavasana. Taking a deep breath in, opening the mouth, exhale, let everything go. And again, deep inhale in through the nose. Open the mouth, exhale, let it go. Feel yourself getting heavier. Feel yourself just pouring out into the mat. And if you need another round like that, take it, or just let the breath begin to settle back into the unconscious. Just letting the body, the muscles, absorb the work you just did. Letting all the muscles of the face soften. Letting the throat soften, letting the tongue move away from the roof of the mouth. Letting the shoulders and the arms get heavy. Pelvis, legs. Letting those feet just roll on out. Not holding on to any tension. And then noticing as those thoughts begin to move through the mind. Just picturing them as clouds floating through the sky on a windy day. They're just coming and going. Coming and going. We're not attached. We don't have to tell a story. We don't have to add an emotion. They just are. And they go. If we feel ourselves wandering away, just pull ourselves back. Really offering a time to pay attention to what this feels like. It's not sleep. Alert, awake. Or at rest. Maybe even visualize the beam of the sun, just a beautiful ray coming straight for your heart, filling the chest with light, with warmth, feeling open, receptive. It's beautiful, warm, healing light. And then feeling another one up in the throat. Right? Just opening up this channel of communication. Finding that channel from the heart to the throat. which is where we want to speak from. And finally, visualizing another ray and landing straight between the eyebrows. That third eye. Right? That place of inner wisdom and knowledge. That place where when we remember to pause, that we can tune in to the higher self. Rather than acting or reacting, we're consciously choosing the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. All open, all warm, all healing, all knowing, all together, all unique. Holding that with us today and through the weekend, into our week. Slowly bringing your attention back to the space. Taking in some fuller, deeper breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Feeling that cool air coming in and that warm air moving out. And making some movements, wiggling fingers and toes, maybe brushing the tips of the fingers with the thumb. Let's go ahead and bend our knees, bringing the soles of the feet to the floor. If you have a busy day, maybe rolling to your left side. If you have a quiet day, rolling to your right. Just kind of like that pit stop on your side, rather than jerking our way up into a seat. It's just compassionate. Okay, and then as you're ready, finding your way up into that tall spine. Again, as you sit, you want that little, like that 10% squeeze of those inner thighs together, which is going to lift you slightly, right? We're not all just like hunched over. You're sitting up nice and tall. Let's go ahead and place one hand on the chest. It doesn't matter which one. Place the other hand on top. Just taking a minute to thank yourself for showing up to your mat, for yourself, for your health, for your well-being. You win. We did it. Let's take a deep breath in. We'll make one last noise together in the sound of Om. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Lena.
Hey.
Have a great day, Jewel.
Thank you.